Hey y'all, welcome to a different kind of battle this morning. We are doing a little bit of World of Tanks. I have had some difficulty recording good matches, obviously with the winter trials going on. Getting stuff done, it's just stuff that's not really super fun to watch. And so decided I would supplement with some videos from Tanks, which is my other love, although I've been on a 2-year break. I literally didn't play the game for about 2 years just from burnout. And so I came back in with the holidays, thought I would give it a whack and see how things are going. And we're going to intersperse a couple of those videos. Let me know if you think that's a good or a bad idea in the comments. Totally up to you. I have some bona fides in Tanks as well. I've been playing it since closed beta. Played Clan Wars for a number of years, including landing on the number 3 clan in North America for a couple of campaigns for about 2 years, and really enjoyed that, and got some pretty cool tanks out of it as well. So we'll walk through a few of these. I'll walk you through what's happening in the battle. Maybe you can pick up a few pointers if you haven't played Tanks. It is fun. Recommend it, same as I recommend warplanes. And if you're new to it, maybe this will help you out as well. So real quickly, before we get any deeper into this battle, which is about to kick off, I've got some new tools to play with as well, one of which is an annotator, and I thought I'd say a few words about the teams and the maps as well. First of all, the teams you can see on the screen up above there, and they are interesting. We've got a couple of anonymous players up here, a couple of anonymous players on our team as well, but overall I know I've got a pretty solid team here. And you can see up here mostly heavy tanks on both of these, so that's interesting. We'll keep an eye out on that as well. But this map, like all maps in World of Tanks, really have 3 lanes of combat, or 3 main areas of combat: left, right, and center. So you've got the city up here, you've got the swamp in the middle, and you've got the hills down south. And as with all World of Tanks maps, there are 3 different ways you want to split your force when you do this. If you haven't learned it, it's one of the most basic things in the game. So on this map, assault tanks are going to come up here to the city, where they can utilize their strengths best. Passive lights and TDs are going to be here in the middle, covering this area. On this map, there's not a lot of dynamic gameplay in the middle. It mostly just needs to be guarded against a rush. And then down here in the south, your versatile tanks, especially tanks with gun depression, like my Concept 1B here, the Toro, the Striv, these guys, the Progetto, are all tanks with gun depression, and so they play well on these hills. Of course, it's the holidays, and of course not everybody knows exactly how the game works. And so as a result of that, sometimes you don't get a deployment that really kind of works the way you would think it would or should. So, but nonetheless, we're going to play the game to the best of our ability. And it ended up being a pretty outrageous battle, all things together. So we don't see a whole lot of enemies right now. We're pushing up to our standard engagement spot, which on this map is going to be kind of on this this hill right here. Like, this is kind of where the battle engages down here, interestingly enough. And so we get to see that unfold here as well. Progetto is moving up and doing damage. I'm going to do the same. I've got great view range and a great hold down and a solid turret. And so we're just going to pick up what we can. They're peeking a little too much. They've got tanks that don't have great gun depression. And so we're kind of just checking it out a little bit. I'm not going to jerk you in and out on the aim, at least not on this one. If we do any actual live recordings, of course, you'll get to see that with me. But just know right now, I'm kind of peeking, trying to see where I can hit these guys from a distance. And you can see me aiming in here and taking some shots on the MV4. Fortunately, we've just had a great push on this side, and all those heavy tanks that down there went wild. And like in World of Warplanes, you need to be checking your map every 15 seconds or so. And so down there at the bottom, I can see most of their heavies went to the north, and so it's pretty clear we're going to win the south, they're going to win the north. And we want to keep an eye on that, because there's a trap that many teams and players fall into that don't know, and it's one of the things that separates the men from the boys in World of Tanks. And we'll see it in this one. So this guy, unfortunately, has no chance. 4-1. I'm going to pick the kill. And then on this one, you have an opportunity to keep pushing in. And this is where I say the men and the boys get separated in World of Tanks. And that is on the map here. Now we've won this side, right? I told you the battle was here. We've won this side. The south is ours. Most of the time, random teams want to keep pushing in and take the base. But unfortunately, the base is a little bit of a red herring in World of Tanks. It's really quite meaningless. You don't win most of your battles that way. Very few battles are won by capturing the base. Almost always battles are won by destroying the other team because of the mobility and the gameplay. And so it's a mistake to continue pushing in this way, because what we're doing is pushing into the face of the enemy defenses, which are right up in here, right? We saw an E50, and so that guy, we've seen a Centurion, we've seen IS-7. We know these 3 tanks at least are back here, and maybe others, because there are 1, 2, 3 tanks as yet unspotted that could be hanging out either here in the center or back here. If they were over here, they probably would have been spotted by our forces there. And on top of that, so that means we got these 3 plus, as I said, the N50, the IS-7, and the Centurion. Where's the Centurion? So we have potentially 6 tanks hovering back here in the corner. And if you look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our tanks, one of which is almost dead, the Salad in there. And so this is not a good play, right? You're assaulting with an even number of forces. Think about if you were a general and your spies told you the enemy has 100 troops and you have 100 troops, you wouldn't push that attack. That would be foolish because they're in a prepared position. So one of the things you want to do is get creative once you've won your side. Sometimes you want to go back and defend. Sometimes you want to route to the middle and do a flank. You want to do a couple of different things. And in this case, we're going to see that I'm going to try to support my team who are rushing in, and I'll do the best I can, but I'm not going to throw away my life alongside theirs. So let's see where we're. Just keep an eye on back here, I guess, and we'll see how this goes. Oops, there we go. Work out a better way to change that annotation out for you. Centurion is pushing the middle, not a great idea. And he's going to die before I even get a shot off, but nonetheless, always good to take a peek at that sort of thing. As you can see, we're already taking fire from the back. The IS-7 is there. And I start to go back because I can see we've already lost the north. You see the XN-57, the Iron Army coming in. And then I realized it's not going to be great. One of the things on this map is it's very hard to defend the base from the south. I've learned that through experience over time. And so I decided to do something else instead, which is I'm going to hope that there's a couple of people on their team smart enough to come back and defend. For now, I'm going to support my folks, and then I'm going to be angling to get into that ditch to my left. I'm just hoping maybe through firepower we can do this, and it's just not going to happen. As you can see on my armor penetration indicator there. E50 is really hard, especially at this range. Even with a good scope, it's hard to get a green, right? I'm getting no penetrations. I'm looking at the IS-7. And we're winning this, and that's good, but it's costing us way too many hit points, as you can see, right? Now, the Progetto is asking for some help. He wants to go back and defend the base, and he's fast enough to do that. I'm not sure I am, though. I've got a top speed of 35 or 40. And I also noticed, by the way, something else, which is that these enemy tanks are not exactly showing up, right? I've got an AMBT here. He's spotting. He can see these 2 guys. But where are all these dudes? And so if I go back and defend, which is what I would normally do in this case, I'm leaving these guys vulnerable to a flank attack. And so now I really want to get in this ditch and see what I can do, because then as they're pushing across here, I'm going to have flanking shots on them from here. And so that's going to be the goal for the next part of the battle here, is to do that. So while I appreciate what the Progetto wants me to do, and he's going to do it, and he's going to do well with it, I'm going to do something else too, and hopefully between the 2 of us, it'll help our team to win. So at this point, I have not done a lot of great stuff. Just so you know, the average in World of Tanks is 3.5 damaging shots per battle. That's pretty consistent across tanks. Obviously, with some of the autoloaders, things get a little finicky. But the reality is, for most single-shot tanks, most of the tanks in the game, like this one, 3.5 shots per battle is what the average player is able to land. And so, as of right now, I've done a below-average performance, right? There we go. That's my 3rd shot of damage, I believe. And so I'm creeping up towards average, and I really want to keep this gun active and do what I can to support these guys over here. I've got 3 damaged tanks, and I really just want to get in and do what I can. You can see I'm just lining up shots as best I can. Fortunately, the replays don't show you the outlines, which is what I'm seeing through the fences, right, where folks are sticking out. This Garen has great DPM. You can keep it active. I've got some people who don't realize I'm here. They're too far away. And I've got the bushes, which is helping. So far I've not been spotted. I'm just firing from the center. And as you can see, it's panned out. The two guys that push the base, continue to push the base, they ran into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our guys. And that obviously was a little micro battle that played out with a victory for us. And now up top, we've got potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks against our 4. And it's costing us, as I said, our guys are low on health. But we're doing what we can. Progetto's almost gone. Toro's almost gone. Cranvan's almost gone. I'm just going to bleed these guys for as much as I can. If I go over here, I'm going to die with them, and that's not going to help us win this game. So for now, the goal is just rake these guys. I'm making them uncomfortable. And you'll find this is one of the key things in World Tanks that you have to do, is make the enemy uncomfortable. When you make the enemy uncomfortable, good things tend to happen. So now we're down to just the Toro. He's going to lose. He doesn't have a chance to back out. And he's going to pay the price for continuing to push into a prepared enemy. And I'm going to continue to benefit from it because I'm going to continue to get damage out of this. Of course, sometimes RNG steps in and bad things happen. Should have held my shot there, then I had a good one on the Toro. But as it stands, I'm going to Nope, not going to get that one either. Good news is I'm still in a great position to spot. I've got the AMBT coming over to help. We've got 3 tanks back at base, clearing out the Rheinmetall, the German TD. He's now gone. So now you can see we are up significantly. And I've got about 6 or 7 shots of damage and 2 kills. So I moved into the place where this is a good game. But this is a real chance to do even more damage. This is where you can put your foot on the gas in a really great way. So I'm going to take myself out of this. You can see I got spotting going on. I'm waiting to make a move until my team gets in place. I know the enemy is on that ridge. There's 2 options. They can continue to go south, in which case they'll end up at our base, and we'll be able to hit them from the top. And I've already told you it's hard to defend that base from the south, so we'll have an advantage there. Alternatively, they may freeze, and this is what a lot of teams do, is they freeze. They don't know what to do or where to go. They hole up and they wait for the enemy, and that's essentially what's beginning to happen here. Now, my team has arrived. I've got good vision, and I realized something else. Look at the HP of my team. I am in the front. I'm a heavy tank. I'm a tier 9. I've got some HP. It's time to spend it. And one of the things you always want to think about in World Tanks is how do I spend my hit points and spend them wisely. Spend them in a way that gets you a good return on investment, kind of like energy in warplanes, right? How do you bank? How do you invest? How do you deposit and withdraw? And hit points are the currency of World of Tanks, just like energy is the currency in World of Warplanes. So I've got good vision. I've got a bouncy turret. I've got the ability to peek over hills. So I am going to peek this ridge and see if I can see where the enemy is going. And behold, there's one of the 3 remaining. And there's 2 of the 3 remaining. Right there, he's poked out. Now they're trying to get a flank attack the same as I was doing earlier. And so smart gameplay on them. I'm fortunate that tank misses, but even if it had hit, I've still got all my hit points. It's time to push the attack. We really have a numerical superiority here and an HP superiority, and I've got the ability to hammer them both. The 752 is a tricky target, so I'm going to load some heat and hopefully help that to shove it through a turret somewhere. The Toro also is a little bit of a beast with good armor. Right now I'm going to wait. Again, I'm just waiting for my team to get in place. I'm waiting for the Conway and the Progetto to get to a place where they've got shots and can support me. Now that I see that they're in place, it's time for me to make a move. And that move is to get up under these guys and, again, make them uncomfortable. I don't want the 752 escaping and causing trouble later or flanking across on me, something funky like that. So we're going to push up here, and there's the object 752 there. He's got 1 HP left. Conway clears him out. Excellent shot by the Conway. He was anticipating that, and that is good play. And you can tell on my top left, he's a good player as well. If you're not familiar with WoWp, we'll go over that another time. And then we're just going to farm this Toro for all we're worth. I think he wants to get into a position and help out, but he's not going to do that. I'm going to shift into aim mode here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just finding that spot. The first shot was on his track. And the second shot, again, trying to get a track, but I miss. I take damage, but this guy doesn't have great alpha, and I've got full HP. So, because of that, I've got all those shots of damage, 4,000 damage, 658 spotting, and spotted 1 enemy. So that's excellent. This is the kind of thing that you want to do in a battle, right? That you want to do. You want to have good coordination, good tactics. You want to keep your gun active. You want to know where to go. And like I said, all battles start with that, knowing where to go and what to do once you get there. So hope you've enjoyed this video. We're going to do more in the future. And again, give me some feedback on that. Believe me, I do not intend to abandon World of Warplanes in this. I love it as well. It's just been hard to get decent, entertaining videos for y'all this time period of, bombers and just repetitive rinse and repeat thrashings. Whether you're the team thrashed or the team doing the thrashing, it's just not very fun and interesting, and it doesn't make for great videos, but we will certainly come back to that as well. So until then, if you have questions, throw them up in the chat. If you have anything in World of Tanks you'd like to see, let me know. And if there's anything you want to learn about that game, let me know that as well, and I will see how I can help out. And until then, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hope you are enjoying your games, whatever they are, and I will catch you on the next one. Till then, good luck and good hunting.